All right, time to put out some reviews that aren't wrestling related. So we have Fired Up, 2009, stars Nick DeGasto and Eric Christian Olsen. And I'm going to say this right now. Oh, and Sarah Reamer. I love Eric Christian Olsen. I liked him in this. I liked him in Another Teen Movie. And I even liked his little small part in Cellular. In real life, yes, he is good friends with Chris Evans, so at least he was. There are two high school football players, we'll get to that, who decide that their annual football training camp just isn't cutting it. And they decide that they want to schmooze with the girls this summer, so they decide to become male cheerleaders and go to a cheer camp where they can hook up with women. And what they get with the cheerleaders, what they get there is more than they bargained for. So, there it is. This is the unrated edition, which is the only way to watch this film. I watched it on TV. I don't know if it originally was PG-13 or what. There's not a lot of cussing in it, really. There's not... I think there's one F-bomb dropped. Really. There's just unrated footage. You see tits, basically. So first to discuss it are our two main actors here. Nick DeGusto and Eric Christian Olsen, who are playing high school teenagers. Probably seniors. Maybe juniors. And they weren't anywhere near being teenagers. Nick DeGasto at the time was 29, and Eric Christian Olsen at the time was 32. So, yeah, nowhere near being teenagers. There's a bunch of actors in this. Besides them, the three I mentioned, there's Molly Sims, who is in Las Vegas, which is a good show. Danielle Ackles now. Danielle Ackles plays Bianca, who is the sort of lesbian type chick. There's Adir Kalan, who I believe was Timmy on Rules of Engagement, which was a good show, and he plays sort of the gay archetype character, roommate thing. Annalyn McCord, who is the stereotypical bitch character, although her character... she played the stereotypical bitch character on 90210. At least I only see the first season of the reboot, but not even all of it. She doesn't get much to do here. Then there's Philip Baker Hall, who is their football coach. They call him Coach Shit because he says shit. And I want to call this out because I watched this movie a bajillion times, and every single time, there's a scene where the coach comes up to them, and they say, "How many sits is he gonna do?" I'm 5. Nick says 5, and then Sean says 10. He says 9. I counted every single time, and every single time it comes up 9, and then it's the 10 shits you win. I'm like, is that just rounding up? Because he only says it 9 times. I count it every single time, and every single time I get 9. I'm not good at math. I've never been good at math, but every time, there would be variables at least. But no. And then you have John Michael Higgins, who plays the big cheer captain coach and Molly Sims' husband in this film. So where to start? There's also another character, Rick. Dr. Rick. He is Sarah Romer's character's boyfriend, and right away, why do movies do this? Because I think about it, they do this too much in movies, where they have a character in high school who's dating someone who's not in high school. So this, 17-year-old character is dating someone who's 19, maybe 20 years old, who's in college trying to be a doctor. So, the character's age. It's really weird, man. Watching these movies, it's weird how they do that. It's really weird. But hey, Brian Kendrick just won. But yeah. So there's a scene where they introduce Rick, right? And I feel like this scene goes against Carly. I remember her name. Carly's character here. Because, like, she's this stern, take no shit character through the entire film. Like, when Nick and Sean want to join the cheer squad, she's like, no, but then their cheer captain coach lady, who's not even freaking there, who's not there, she's not at the camp with them. Nope. Says that's okay, they can join. Who's Edie McClurg, by the way, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He's just a righteous dude. But, yeah. But Carly has been this stern, take no shit character. And all of a sudden, Rick shows up. She's like, Rick, yay! I'm like, no, that's not what her character would do at all. I'm sorry, but no. Who wrote that? Who told her to do that? That's totally out of character for her. So, and I feel like they ruined his character too with Rick. I mean, he's a dick. Like, and they even have that line, hey, Dick, it's Rick, actually. Dr. Rick. Oh, I'm sorry, you just play such a dick to me. That was in the trailers, too, I remember that. But, so, his whole motivation is that he knows there's something going on with Sean and Nick. So he figures out that they are actually scamming for chicks, which everyone already knew about. That they were going to take off before the competition. Because the football camp was only 2 weeks, and the cheer camp is 3 weeks. And they were going to take off at the 2-week mark so they can hang out at Michael Blakelock's dad's house in this film. Sammy. But, yeah, and they, last minute, decide not to do it. Because they changed their minds. They are cheerleaders now. By the end of this, I'm pretty sure they are. But Dr. Dick shows up and reveals everything. And I'm like, okay, this is understandable, right? This character, while being a dick, is like trying to protect his girlfriend, right? Right? He may be a dick, but he's, outing these guys because he wants to protect his girlfriend. I know we've seen other things that kind of, contrast this, but he's like set up. He said he's only dating her because they were set up because he has family connections, but he could be looking after her. And then we do realize that he is just doing this for the familial connections because we catch him cheating with Anna McCord's character later, which, why would you do it in a place where you can get caught? Like, he's just off to the side of the stand. And it's very obvious they could see it from the stage. And so they do this. They have this running gag with this move called the Fountain of Troy, which is prohibidado. But the running joke is that Nick can't pronounce it. So he goes, prohibibabado, prohibidibidibabado. That movie's prohibidibidibabado. He just can't pronounce it. Prohibidado. And here's a funny line from John Michael Higgins here. That was prohibidado. I said in Spanish. How much clearer could I be? Could I have been? And they do it. Now, my confusion comes from they do this, and they mess up because Sean does a triple backflip instead of a double and lands in the fountain or whatever it is, in the water. But then, he must have passed out again or something, I don't know, because Carly wakes him up, and she's like, oh, we got 19th place. If it wasn't for the points taken off for the Fountain of Troy, we would have gotten third. So, even if they had succeeded, they wouldn't have gotten any of the top spots because they got points taken off for the Fountain of Troy. So what was the point of doing it? They wouldn't have succeeded anyway. It's one of those movies where, you think you know what's going to happen. Oh, they're going to win in the end, but they don't. And it's like, ugh. And then she gets with Nick, with his name is Nick, with Sean. Nick gets punched out, and then Bianca punches him out, or is it Chuck? I want to call it Chugs. That's what she was in Sorority Row. It's I forget the actress's name, but she was in Even Stevens too. Yeah, and then he's like, Carl's back, California. He takes her name and puns it in every single way that he can. But by the end, she's with Sean and Nick. I don't know. There's another subplot with him and this guy named Downey, who's seems like a real cool dude. He's got video games and stuff. And then it's revealed that Downey is gay, and there's this funny scene where they're on the bus on the way home because they get kicked out at first, and he's got these beads, right? And he's like, those are Downey's beads, bro. What are you talking about? Downey isn't gay, and he has it in his mouth and stuff, just kind of a little bit in his mouth. And he's like, think about it, and they flash back to all the stuff that has happened, and we see another point of view where Downey is there, when Downey said hello to him, he grabbed his ass and rubbed his back, and then when they're doing the, hey Tigers, yeah, hey Tigers, because there's a scene where they go skinny dipping, but their clothes are taken by a raccoon, so they're naked, and they show Downey coming up behind them when he's naked and stuff, and then there's a scene where he asks him, hey, you want to count shooting stars? Hey, classic Downey. And then when it transitions back, he's got the beads entirely in his mouth. It's like, bleh. How, during the thought process, did he get all the beads in his mouth while he was thinking about all this? I don't know. And then, when he gets back, he says, well, why didn't you tell me you were gay? And he's like, wait, you're straight? He goes, well, yeah. He goes, the closet has many colors, my friend, or something like that. Closet door has many colors, my friend, or something like that. But, because he said, well, you wanted my beads. I thought it was a bracelet. You put bracelets in your mouth? Why would you do that? I don't know. Kind of funny. And then there's this thing where he's trying to get Molly Sims' character, and then when he's outed because he's been writing poetry about her, now she wants his D. So now she's all over him. There's a scene at the end where she's they're making out. She runs off. Somehow her husband doesn't see her, but then there's this little thing. I don't know. There's a gag reel and everything. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's a pretty good film. Another running joke is that Bianca is a lesbian. She's after this African American chick who is, I think, briefcase Oprah on the opener on Deal or No Deal. But there's a running joke that she's a lesbian. Even one instance when she's in bed with Bianca and she's not wearing pants, nothing. I mean, we don't see it, of course. They could use a body double for that, especially in the animated cut. But I'm gonna give this film, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. It's enjoyable, it's fun to watch, and it took me entirely too long to get this movie back. So there it is. So what are your thoughts on Fired Up? How do you spell Fired Up? F-U. No, not really. So what are your thoughts on Fired Up? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.